Number 4.
Humans.
Please stop.
Let me try that again.
No.
Humans.
No.
They were not the cowering wretches we were promised. They are
Okay, well, he's really going to do this. So while Joe continues to embarrass himself with an awful impression, coming in at number 4 is our first introduction to Thanos. This might have been one of the most important post-credit scenes in the entire MCU, at least for the phases 1 through 3. Marvel had just finished its huge milestone after assembling the Avengers for the first time on screen, and it proved that a large-scale superhero ensemble movie was not only possible, but also financially successful. It may seem like no big deal now, but at the time, this was new, and the battles that took place at the theater captivated audiences for an entire summer. After wrapping up the battle for New York, beating Loki and his alien forces while saving the city from a nuclear bomb, where could Marvel possibly take audiences next?
To court death.
Right on cue.
Sorry, I got really into that. Have you been doing this all by yourself?
Yes.
Sorry. All right, I got it from here. After watching our heroes take down an army and a nuke, Marvel teased the future of the series in a new direction. I don't think comic book fans ever expected superhero movies to ever go. Thanos and the Infinity Stones. While Iron Man 1 teased an eventual Avengers movie, this scene teased a universe of storytelling for the next 7 years to come. Marvel just delivered one of the most successful comic book movies ever, and straight off the heels of it, they teased one of their most beloved villains of all time. The hype was at an all-time high. We just talked about shawarma, and we kind of teased this already because we talked about the mid-credit scene, but I mean, for real though, I don't know if people saw it coming. I don't know if people were like, I'm waiting for this. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Or if they were just totally surprised. I was totally surprised. I didn't know about Thanos too much. I only knew of him very, very loosely at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But that chin is very recognizable.
Yep.
And even if you'd only seen Thanos once, you knew who that was.
Shocking too, because like you said, they just had this huge ordeal. And we just absolutely one of the best stories that have been told, and then all of a sudden we're gonna get this insane, powerful character next. What could possibly happen, essentially, from all this?
I think that was the hype, right? Is even if you don't know who Thanos is, right? That introduction of to court death and that turn of just this menacing grin, I think kind of tells you everything you need to know. Is the battle for New York was just the beginning, and something so much worse is coming. We talked earlier about the size difference between the Sanctuary 2 and the Statesman, and I think this is kind of an early draft of this, right? Where it's not necessarily a contrast in size here, but there's a contrast in feelings. Yeah, we just saved New York, hooray! But now we're looking at this image that seems to impose something much, much more dangerous.
Right. New York was actually small time compared to what Thanos is going to rain on us later on. Unreal.
Yeah, Unreal is right. And I think one of my favorite things about the scene is the Other himself. He's a character we really don't get a whole heck of a lot of. We get him in this movie, and then we get him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's the end of him. And I think he's one of the more mysterious characters that we ever get to see in the MCU, and we really don't get any answers on him. I think the most interesting thing about the Other is something that's actually retroactive. So in his speech, to court death, which already is a super metal line.
Yeah.
It seems to imply what Marvel's original plan for Thanos was, which clearly changed a lot by the time we actually got to Infinity War. Because in the comics, Thanos' original, the whole Infinity Gauntlet story is about him trying to woo the actual embodiment of death. He loves the woman Death, and the way that he's going to woo her, to court her, is he's going to erase half of all life in the universe. And that line seems to very much imply that they were originally thinking about adapting that story the way that it was, something that was more believable in terms of its relatability to our world. They related it to resources as opposed to trying to I don't know, go on a date with the concept of death.
Right. Yeah, fascinating and great point too. With of course, the call out of to court death. So multiple meanings in that sentence there. But what we want to know is what you all think. Does this scene belong on Marvel's best post-credit scene list? Let us know in the comments.
And be sure to tune in every day for the next 3 days as we count down Marvel's best post-credit scenes. It's a Merry Marvel Christmas countdown.
Peace.